Hi, Eileen back with you again. This is my Lavinia stamps video tutorial from me to you for Sunday, and I'm featuring the beautiful Seren fairy who from the new release of Lavinia stamps from, I think it was last Tuesday week now. Where does the time go? Anyway, she's absolutely gorgeous. I'm also using a brand new script from the same release called Magic Surrounds Us, and it's beautiful text, gorgeous words, along with a lovely font. So, you know, a winner each time there. And I'm using it with the first generation ink, so you can actually read it all. And the other thing I'm using is the Blackberry stamp that I used in yesterday's YouTube. Right, let's get cracking. I have a piece of multifarious cardstock in white, 14 centimeters by 14 centimeters square, and this is my main topper. And I've mounted it onto, or it's laying on top of my stamp pad so that I can stamp the script first. Here it is. I've got it on an acrylic block, and I'm just going to give it a quick wipe, make sure it is clean. And so are my fingers. I don't want it to overpower the main image, so I'm using Versifying Clear Morning Mist. It will be first generation, but as it's a grey, it will sink more into the background. That's the plan. It has to be straight though, because you will see it and be able to read it, and if it's wonky, it won't look very good. So gentle tapping. And then I'm up the top of the card as close to the edge as I can go and keeping it straight, fingers crossed, down there. That's not bad. I don't like the way that image has got dollops of ink at the top though, so I'm going to do that again. Yes, it's a bit, I've over inked the top of that. I'll take another piece of cardstock. Take that out. Another piece of multifarious cardstock there. And I'm going to try again, but not over ink this one. That ink pad is new, and I think that I sort of overdid it. I squashed it down, maybe the ink pad too much. Always a danger if you do that. The ink gets right into the grooves of the what's it called, well, the stamp itself, and it wasn't so good. So more, but gentle tapping, and I'm just going to wipe off that piece or tiny amount of ink around the edge. Okay, and I won't press so heavily either now. So down we go, close to the edge, but down a little bit from the top, and it's straight, and I'm not going to press so heavily, just down and up. That's better. And then down again. I'm not I'm moving in more to the right, but I am not re-inking, as you've noticed, like so. And then again, and then I'm going right back over to the left off of the card and pressing heavily again at the bottom. So I've got the text there, you can read it, but it again, it's sinking into the background because of the colour, but it adds interest. Right, next is the Blackberry. Yes, and I'm sorry, I'm telling you fibs. It's Seren herself. I'll need to change equipment. I'm going on to my Misty. Just check fingers are okay. You're going to get a bit of glare now, I'm afraid, from the lamp. pop those on there. Move it up a little so that you've got it, so you can definitely see it. And then this is the beautiful Seren, isn't she gorgeous? Now just going to pop her, or better check that she's clean. Just going to pop her in the middle. Round about there, I think, like so. Yeah, and this time I'm inking up in VersaFine Onyx Black. I'll move this over. VersaFine Onyx Black, but again gentle tapping. It's a beautiful large silhouette, so it needs plenty of ink, and you need to ensure that your ink pad is quite juicy. It's a stunning fairy. And look at the wings on that, how intricate they are. Right, I think that will do it. Lid on, white fingers. And over we go. Down, gentle pressure. Firmer on the main part of the body, but not too heavy-handed on the outside edge. Let's try that. Gorgeous. Absolutely stunning. Right, so she goes off to be cleaned. I only use a damp cloth to clean my stamps. When they're really bad, I use a tiny small amount of a very mild washing up liquid with water. I never use any cleaners on my stamps, you know, the chemical cleaners. I try not to use chemicals for anything these days, to be honest. Okay, so there she is, beautiful. Turn around, and next it's back with my other stamp mat. It's quite disgusting, but I don't care, I've had it years. And now, ooh, stray bit of ink there. Get rid of that with my trusty eraser. Yeah, that's good. Now next I'm going to stamp the Blackberry as well across her body, but before I do, I need to heat set the silhouette image, because in a moment I'm going to apply a moon mask and I'm using a makeup brush, and that could disturb the ink underneath and smear the action of the brush with the other ink. So going to make sure that I dry her thoroughly, lifting up actually, because it's best to allow the air to go underneath the cardstock to go through it, especially around this area, because I know that's where the moon is going to be, around the area of this, the fairy crook or walking stick or whatever it is. And the main part and her wings as well. So that should be thoroughly dry now. If I'd used archival ink, it probably would have dried by itself, but VersaFine ink whether it be VersaFine Clair or the VersaFine Onyx Black, is brilliant. Once it's dry, you can even watercolour, there's no problem, but it just needs a little bit longer or some help to dry than Archival does. It's a more fluid ink than Archival though, so you get extra detail with it. Now, I'm going to use Seedless Preserves Distress Ink for the Blackberry. Gentle tapping. And it's going to be a second generation. Let me just check that I'm in shot for you, yes. It's going to be a second generation. So down, press, over to the image, and I'm going across her body. And it's around about there, I think. Pressing down and there. Not pressing too heavily over the area of her head, because you're going to see this blackberry in her hair. Oh, that's not bad. Okay, we get there. So her hair is sort of relatively unscathed from the colour of the blackberry. Off we go with that. Done. And next it's the Moon Mask and Victorian Velvet for this occasion. Move down a little. Move the whole thing down a little actually for you. This Moon Mask, you'll find these on the Lavinia Stamps website, different sizes of Moon Masks. I think this is the medium size. Just give it a wipe off, although I've used it for other stuff that won't come off, and never mind, at least I can identify it quickly as mine. Down it goes, and I'm putting it above, around about the middle of her knee and up and over, so around about there will do. Victorian Velvet and a makeup brush. Now this makeup brush I have already cleaned on a piece of kitchen towel, so that I know even though it looks stained, it is clean. So I'm going to pop that down, hold this, and then away we go. And this is where, if you haven't dried your image properly, you will get the smearing, because it will carry, the ink will carry some of the black with it with the brush. And over here. I'm putting a fair amount of ink on, because I want this to come out. So there's a fair amount of pressure on the head of the brush, again, to allow it to sort of travel a bit further, this haze of pink, which is what I'm after, because this is the only real colour that I've got on the card, and it will act as an aid to your focal point main image. And there she is, that's lovely. So I'm happy with that. Now I've got a slight amount of ink there, and I know it's my fingers because I can see an actual fingerprint, but gone. Like so. Yeah. So we're almost there. Now checking fingers, wiping on a cloth, because I'm going to pick the card up now, and just take my Victorian Velvet Distress Ink and just go around the edges like so. I've caught the edge of the card there, scuffed it up, but that will add to the mix, that's fine. There we are. Now if you wish, you can put some glitter around. I didn't do that, I left it, but you could just get a quickie glue pen around the edge and then put some glitter around that moon. I think that would look quite nice. Right, I'm a bit pushed for time. I've got lots of stuff to do before the Formula 1 racing this afternoon. So if you'll forgive me, I'm going to show you that what I did next was to mount it on foam pads, which I haven't got here. I mounted it on foam pads and on an 8x8 card blank. That's 8x8 inches, which I think is 20 by 20 centimetres. So it's quite a large card, and it looks better when it's raised up a little. Okay, so pop that there, and then bring in the one that I did yesterday, and you've got a choice now. Look, that is quite dark, and I like that. I haven't used so much ink on this one. It's got a sort of a hazier, paler moon shadow around. Oh, I'll tell you what I haven't done. I haven't grounded her. Oh, that's naughty. So a little bit of, just a tiny amount with the brush of the pink again underneath her feet. Oh, wrong ink. Bit more. Still, we get there. Yes, that's good. And we'll have another bit there, I think. Oh, poor little devil had nothing to stand on. Right. Now we're back into the middle of the card. So there she is, all finished with a darker moon haze surrounding her, or the one yesterday with a lighter haze. Pays your money, takes your choice. Which one do you prefer? Thanks for looking today. I've really enjoyed making my cards this weekend, and I'll be back next weekend with 2 more Lavinia Stamps video tutorials from me to you. Have a good week. Bye for now.